So I figured today I will give you a garden tour, but here is the overview so you can kind of get a sense of where everything is in my garden. I'm going to split this up into 2 different videos, maybe 3. There you go. So we'll start here with this onion bed. So here is my onion bed, and yes, they are all laying down. We have had, I think, 11 weeks. Every Saturday it's been rainy. We've actually had a ton of rain in this past May and June, probably one of the wettest so far in the for a while up here in New Hampshire. And onions, I'll be honest, have always been my arch nemesis. So on the left hand of the bed, I have Utah yellows, and then on the right hand side I have Walla Walla. Neither are really great storage onions, to be honest, and so whatever I don't use up pretty quickly, I'm going to have to chop up and probably freeze, so it won't definitely go to waste. I don't really use a lot of red onions, so that's really not something I would grow. I think I've grown them before, but this year is the most promising year. I will tell you, I'm quite happy. I hope I have good luck with the rest of the year. That is my rooster, Kyle. And so, yeah, so this is my onion bed. Now moving up, I do have this planter. It is just has some dianthus. It has some French marigolds given to me by a good friend who grew them and had an overabundance. And then I have this cute little flower right here. Maybe bachelor buttons, not sure, but they're really pretty. Over here, I do have the first of my couple of pepper plants. So these are cowbell pepper plants. They will be yellow. I bought them last year. That is now my dog barking. Clearly the alarm system is in full effect. So, and then I have some sweet basil here. I actually ordered this basil. So fun fact, I ordered this basil from Burpee. I know they don't probably look the best right now. They did get a little sunburned when I first put them out. I thought that was totally my fault. They looked much better when I got them. But I thought they were already kind of ready to go in the garden and were hardened off. Unfortunately, I found out they were not. So, yeah, living with a little bit of damage, but they are definitely coming back, so that's very happy. And just so you see, I do have tiny little peppers here, so yippee. Okay, in the next bed up, I do have this amazing tomato plant. This is, I have the tag somewhere. It is a chocolate cherry. Come on. A chocolate cherry. I actually bought this from Azure Standard. So if you're unfamiliar with Azure, it is an online organic bulk food store. I don't have a Costco membership. I like what Azure stands for in terms of food ingredients and such. So anyway, they have very healthy plants at the beginning of the spring season, and so I was able to get this chocolate cherry, and I'm kind of excited. It's my first year trying it. Typically, I actually use Sweet 100s for my cherry tomatoes, so this will be my first year actually trying them, and I'm super excited for that. So here are my tomato plants. So my tomato plants, and I don't know if I mentioned, but the pepper plants that I just went over, and the onions I all started from seed. These San Marzanos I also started from seed. They were from a great harvest of last year, so I seed saved some of them, so I'm hoping that I get some great turnout. I did a little bit of damage here on these leaves. I think I accidentally put too much fertilizer and kind of burned it. So here is, so I have all of this bed is San Marzanos, and then I have some marigolds interspersed in between. So what I like about these marigolds is you can just easily pop them off, and then I take these and I give them to my chickens. So I will kind of gather those up as I go along. And look, I have some little flowers here, so I'm so excited. So what's funny is that I just used the last of my tomatoes from last year's garden to make some spaghetti sauce. So, and I still have salsa left from last year. So I'm not really hurting in the tomato department, but that's okay. I love my tomatoes. So then these were just planted. Oops, there's a weed. So here's one thing I'm going to put a disclaimer out that, my gardens are not perfectly weeded. I do not use the weed block, and I weed as much as I can. But I do work full time, and so also means that, it's not always perfect, and I'm okay with that. As long as the weed pressure doesn't get too much that it's affecting the growth of the vegetables. I typically have a pretty high tolerance for some weeds. So anyway, with that being said, this part of the garden or bed, these look so great. I'm so excited. And they're finally getting sun, just so you know. These are the Danvers half long. And then here in the latter part, I didn't have as great germination on these last 3 rows. Those are tender sweet. So just tried a little bit something different. I probably in a few days will have to go through and actually thin some of these. I don't know if you can tell my spacing. Carrot seeds is just so darn small. And I know they have seed tape, and they have clay covered carrot seeds, which are kind of nice. But from a longevity standpoint, they only last 1 season. Then the seed will tend to rot within the clay covering. And then the seed tape, honestly, I just didn't, I thought about it, but then I wanted to really use what I have. If you garden, you typically end up with a lot of seeds over time, and I'm trying to use what I have. So there is my carrot bed. Now the next bed, I have 3 or 4 San Marzanos on this end, and then I flip over to Romas. Now, this is probably going to be a controversial statement, but I 100% prefer Romas over San Marzanos. Yep. I don't get the hype. The Romas that I have a couple of different ones in here, and because I am not very organized, I have a Ferrymorse Roma, and then I have an heirloom Roma. I don't know which one is which. But either way, I seed saved both of them from last year. And so again, didn't have to buy any of these seeds. They look phenomenal. Again, we've had so much rain, so keeping up with trying to maintain some fertilizing schedule has been something short of a feat. Because I think every day it's rained, hardly any sun. So I also started out pretty rough with these tomatoes. They looked great in my little grow area, and then when I brought them upstairs, we encountered more cold, more rainy weather, and I really couldn't get them outside. And so they became super leggy and super flexible, which is never good in a tomato stalk. So I ended up by planting them almost horizontal. So from here, imagine the root going all the way down to here. And I planted them kind of laying down so that those adventitious roots would develop. But they, after a couple of weeks of not doing much, they are taking off, and I'm super happy about that. So that is another tomato bed. Now walking over here, I have some potatoes in this garden. They're looking great, but I will tell you that the cucumber beetles absolutely love them, and I'm not happy about it. So I have been spraying with neem oil as a preventative and squishing as I come upon them. So I'm going to continue to do that. And I think these, I don't have my book out. So these are Kennebec potatoes, and I have another bag over there. So they're just in the Amazon grow bags. I put about 8 inches of dirt. I lay the seed potatoes on. I keep my potatoes whole. I just find when I plant a bigger potato, I get a bigger result. So I'm going to leave that, and then I cover it with leaves. A little bit. I cover the seed potato with a little bit of dirt, tons of fertilizer, and then the rest of it's leaves. So, and then in the bed next to it, you can see it's just leaves. I don't have anything planted in here yet, but this is where my summer squash is going to go. So maybe we'll be able to plant that later today, because again, this has been a really nice day. The first in a long time. And then again, I have another tomato. And this is my final tomato bed. More Roma tomatoes. I just enjoyed the size of them and the taste of them. So now these are the only tomatoes I'm growing. Is Roma and San Marzano and the one chocolate cherry. I don't particularly care for slicing tomatoes because I don't eat enough sandwiches to warrant having a separate slicing tomato plant. And you know what? Romas and San Marzanos, they slice just fine. So, yeah, so really no need. Now, I will show you one thing. See these really lovely little bright red tags. Those are holding the tomatoes kind of in place. I do have a short video on that in, I think one of my last video, just showing how that plant tying machine works. I am completely in love with it. It is wonderful and so handy. Anyway, and one other thing, over here I do have a small planter bed, and it has some extra, I had an extra potato, so I threw it in there.